The Christ within me, the awakening of that Christ is capable of everything. With God, there is nothing impossible. So, I can just see the intermingling, the interwoven of the things that other people are awakening. Instead of just, pushing them out of my zone now, I say, I can see how Christ was teaching some of these principles 2,000 years ago. So all of this has caused our minds to form opinions and precepts. We respond in certain ways to outside stimuli because of what we believe. We see a bill, and many of us get real fearful, don't we? Because that's our precept. Our parents couldn't pay their bills. We're afraid we can't pay those bills come in. Our heart starts pounding. Somebody says something to us, and we get all out. We take it as they're criticizing us, and we get all this way and that way because that's the way our precepts have been. It says to the pure, all things are pure. I don't know about you, but I get criticism sometimes. Maybe you all never get criticism. But I get criticism a lot of the time. Over the internet I get criticism. Over the telephone I get criticism. And in person sometimes I get criticism. But it's how you look at it. I've changed my view on that too. I think, their perception is different. I honor them where they are. I'm not going to take it personally. Because it's been a long journey for me not to take it personally. Because we all want to be liked, don't we? And popular. In high school, we want to be most popular and all that. But I have to say, I honor them where they are. I love them where they are. I release them where they are. But I got to keep going where I'm going. And not take it. They're not, they're really not coming against me. They're coming against my perception of things. They don't like the way I'm perceiving God is all good. They don't like that I'm perceiving man's not going to hell. They don't like that I'm perceiving heaven's not out there somewhere. It's not really me they're against, but my perceptions. You see, but you know what? Many of my perceptions still need changing. I said to somebody last week, too, I don't know how much mixture's in me. But there still is a mixture in me. I don't have that pure mind of God, but I'm working towards it. Yeah. And every thought, I'm cognizant like never before in my life of every thought that comes into my mind. And when I'm listening to other people, I'm cognizant of what they're saying also from their belief system. But anyway, good news is we can control and choose how we respond. I chose how I decided to respond to my electric bill. Instead of fighting that electric bill and cursing that electric bill, I'm going to respond with a blessing towards that, with a positive attitude to that electric bill. People that are responding badly towards me, instead of responding back towards them, I'm going to try to honor them and love them. And do I always do it perfectly? No. I stand up here and say things you think, boy, she probably just never has a problem with anybody. Wrong. Not true. Mary Lou's transitioning too. And sometimes I have a feeling and I say, I don't want that feeling. I don't want that feeling. I'm going to say no to that feeling. That person might be trying to, come against me or something, but I'm not going to bite to that. So we can control how we respond. In Genesis, listen to this now. The animals or the emotion were brought to man and they named them. They called them what they wanted to. You have the ability to call your emotions what you want to too. You can either call them sorrow, bitterness, anger, or you can call them understanding, love, peace, and joy. From Genesis on, it showed us we have the power to subdue all of this stuff. We can too. We name things by our perceptions. We are not victims. We are lords. We are rulers. We are kings of our kingdom. So we can make a call, and we have the power to change our perceptions. Have any of you, I want to see your hands if you have changed your perception about something in your life. Woo! I want to honor all of you. See, we're all starting. And I'm going to say our word. I'm going to say namaste. Yeah. We were talking about that last week. It says the divinity within me recognizes the divinity within you. That's so beautiful. See, it's just like a baby taking those baby steps. We have to be patient with ourselves too. I can remember in the beginning it was slow. And I can see in my own life like an acceleration now of those things. We're not victims. We're lords. We're kings over our kingdom. So we can make calls. We have the power to to make a decree. Remember when it says there comes a day that you will decree a thing and that thing will be so? You know, I preached that for years and didn't know what I was preaching. I said, boy, I want to be in that day where I decree, before you ask, I'll answer. Why? Because it'll be up here and that will already manifest. Those were two scriptures I loved. I knew I loved them, but I didn't fully understand them. But you're in the day where you decree a thing and that thing becomes so. And before you even ask with your mouth, you change that inner belief and your life is changed radically. Radically changed. We're living in the greatest time. And I talked about the keys to the kingdom, and I say meditation and affirmations. I think they're part of it. Christ said you must be born again. Reborn by the power of the Spirit. Change your... You know what born again is? A belief system change. A belief system change. You can say I'm born again all day long and still be living in that physical realm. The majority of the people out there that think it means to be reborn, not controlled by this physical realm, but reborn by the Spirit to see things in a higher dimension. You go back and you read all these scriptures and they're new, just brand new. Remember, I wanted to talk about, remember in Luke 12, and I'm not going to go there because we're getting to the end now, but you remember there was a servant and a wise steward. Remember this? Remember the story? And the servant said in his heart, in his inner belief system, in his heart it says. So this is his subconscious mind. My Lord delays his coming. I'm waiting for the power. I'm waiting to be able to do it. I'm waiting in this waiting mode because my Lord, he's not coming in my life. He might be coming out there someday and maybe he's coming in George's life or Roberta's life. But me, the power's just not there. But what happened to that servant? He had no power within him to change anything. He wanted to stay in a victim mode. What does he receive? He receives the portion of an unbeliever. And so what does that mean? Can't believe enough for abundance. Can't believe enough for health. Can't believe enough for good relationships. According to what he believed, his portion came to him. Go back and read that. That's what it produced. But then there was the wise steward. You see, he wasn't a servant. He didn't have that servant mentality. And it said, when his Lord came, he was so doing. So doing. And that is a verb. Something was happening in this wise servant's life. He was taking authority. He was taking authority over his inner belief. He believed that the Christ was in him and that he had authority to change his thought. So he was so doing. He was binding those negative thoughts, loosing those positive thoughts. And guess what he got? He became Lord over his whole